What is going on, guys? It is the Zoomer Value Investor here to talk to you guys today about AbCellera stock. Now, this is one of the first companies I covered here on my channel. That was probably back in around like 2022. It was definitely a different company back then. Just a lot of different factors were different. But I'll go ahead and show you guys my position here. Got about 1.2% of my account into this company. Cost base is at $8.15, so I'm down a little over, I think, 60% right now. Um, but I'm not too worried. I'm gonna go ahead and get into why in this video. Now, this company, it's a much better opportunity than it's ever been. I think personally, in my opinion, um, price over book value per share 0.9, guys. This is trading under cash value. You can see if we go over here into the balance sheet, it kind of just backs that up. That this company financially is fine off, even though they're not really generating profits at this time. They don't have a molecule in market at this time. They have in the past, but they just don't right now. But nonetheless, they have a healthy enough balance sheet, enough cash. They can self-sustain for quite some time. So as you can see here, $3.31 is what the tangible book value per share metric would be, and their book value per share is 977 million. So very impressive. Market cap's only 900 million. So this is a biotech trading under cash. This sometimes happens, but it is pretty rare. So value investors, anytime we see this, we start rubbing our little hands together and looking like looking like you're walking into McDonald's with a blue strip, right? So, all right. So, AbCellera had to announce in 2024 the resignation of Peter Thiel. Peter Thiel, very famous figure in the financial world. Um, he wrote a book called Zero to One that a lot of like entrepreneurs and stuff refer to. He was a part of PayPal's founding days, so he worked in cahoots with Elon Musk in the founding days of PayPal, and he also helped. He was on the board for Palantir. I think he maybe still is. So Palantir is a successful tech company that I think has a lot of similarities to AbCellera, right? So um, Palantir here, they in this is when I was buying the stock in like fall of 2022, and obviously it's worth like way more now, around 1,000% gain. But here in like 2022, right, there was a lot of like sentiment and fear. But this company well positioned themselves in the early days after their IPO, when the market was giving them a high valuation. They were doing things like using those shares to pay employees and retain high tier talent, and they were also trying to improve their balance sheet. They were leveraging in the different assets. They were managing their money in the different assets, and so that put them in a healthy financial position going forward. So eventually, once the market did start recognizing their product, their big data product, they they were, it was very sound. Everything kind of fell through. They became a profitable company. Market started recognizing that. They got S&P credibility. They got incorporated S&P 500. Things just kind of like moved from there, right? But because in a few years earlier, in the earlier days, they set themselves up in a good position. That's why they were able to do that stuff in the lot, because they were never too financially distressed. They kept the balance sheet together as well, as they could, despite they were always a high flying tech valuation company. They still are, but they made sure their balance sheet, they crossed their I's, they dotted their T's, and that's the same thing with AbCellera. Um, just because the stock price is going down, that doesn't necessarily mean the company is super distressed or like it is the end of the world at that company. These guys are still doing their research, they're doing their thing, and they're working really hard, I'm sure. But let's take a look here. So 13 molecules in clinic according to this, actually 14. This is the more up-to-date earnings report. But I really like this figure because it really lists out all the partners. You can see what's going on here. Um, my big critiques would be, as you can see here, we don't have a lot of partnerships with those kind of high reputation big pharma companies like Merck or Lilly that AbCellera is known to work with in the past. A lot of these are coming through Triani, which is like a subsidiary of AbCellera. It was an acquisition we made in 2018. So And Novorock, this is like a almost like a shell company. It's a very, very small company that literally just exists probably for these these phase one molecules in the clinic. So this is basically like a nothing burger company or a super, super, super new company. Um, they won't have connections to the FDA to actually get things approved into the market like a Lilly would or a Merck would. So that's one critique is we really need to see AbCellera start working with better partners. Um, but there are things to be optimistic about, right? So AbCellera, look at this cumulative growth rate, right? From 2020, just having one product in the clinic to, over 13. That's over 1,000%. That's 1,300% growth about. So really impressive stuff there. Over 100 and about 112 partner initiated, just partner initiated programs, molecule programs. So that's really impressive too. That all these cumulative growth rates. And the more shots you take, the more hits you're going to have, right? So the fact they're able to generate more and more attempts now, thanks to progress like AI, better data, more partnerships, that goes to show they're really in a much better position going forward. Now, I kind of want to put together like the pieces of why AbCellera is probably a more valuable company than it might appear today. They made a lot of acquisitions while they were in a much better position with the market, right? So when the market was offering them a higher valuation, they made some really strategic acquisitions. So this is actually back when they were private market, but it kind of like sets up the other two. This is acquiring Lineage Biosciences. So why Lineage is important is they're essential. Well, they're essential for the company for antibody sequencing. Um, so they pick up Lineage for antibody sequencing. Then they paid 90 million for Triani in November of 2020. This is around when I kind of started getting into the stock. And what this was this is a company that they breed mice that produce only a heavy chain antibody. So these heavy chain antibody only producing mice, they're a lot easier to do lab work with and really get the kind of like testing they need to understand these molecules are trying to get into the clinic. Because it's easier to work with the heavy chain producing antibody mice than it would be your normal lab mice. And that's what Triani does. They breed those types of mice. So then Tetragenetics in September 13th of 2021 is the next acquisition. And what's important about Tetragenetics is they're really good with heavy chain antibody analysis. So you can see here between these acquisitions they make, they're really setting up a foundation for a company that has all parts of the downstream, pipeline for how a molecule gets into the clinic. And they're going to have essentially the platform and the data to get all that kind of stuff done. Because they made these acquisitions for hundreds of millions of dollars back when the market was affording them a lot more liquidity just in general. And so now they're in this position where, okay, sure, the stock price is down, but our balance sheet is good. We can just hunker down and research. We already made all the acquisitions we kind of wanted to make. We can just hunker down, research, and let's produce a good product. Eventually, the market's got to recognize us. And so that's really where I see the position AbCellera is in today. Do I want to sell just because I'm down over 60%? Hell no. Hell no. I think that's a horrible idea. And this isn't too big of a drag on my performance. It's just a little over 1% of my allocation. I don't see why I can't just allow the stock to be a dog, just sit there. If anything, I was nibbling at it. My cost basis used to be around 875, but because I was nibbling at it, when it was in the range of like, it went as low as 240, and I remember, but I mostly bought like in the 275 or lower range, and it brought down the cost basis a little, guys. So with that being said, I still like AbCellera. Curious to hear what you guys think. Let me know in the comments. I'm going to leave you guys with this. Definitely go check out Analyze, as I said. But also, Martin did an analysis. I don't really want to affiliate with this guy, but I do respect him as a financial figure if you want to go check him out. It's a really good analysis. It's interesting to hear how his brain works. And then this guy, Antonio Linares, he makes really good videos just in general, but his AbCellera videos I definitely would check out. He has really interesting theories on the company, where he sees it going. He is also invested in Palantir, and I, like him, see a lot of the cross similarities between the two tech companies. So I think they're both really exciting. AbCellera is just the one that has yet to take off, and it's as simple as that. And I think life sciences and AI's integration in life sciences it's just a lot slower than we were maybe a little too starry-eyed, right, in 2020, 2021 or so. But I don't think that the thesis is dead per se. So with that being said, let's Jim, I'm going to sign out. Zoom Value Investor signing out. Peace.